What happened at the door was not normal. The knock was extremely soft, so soft that if there had been even a little noise in the house, I probably wouldn't have heard it. But that night, everything was strangely quiet. My wife was in the bedroom. Just a few minutes earlier, she had said she had a headache and wanted to rest. I walked to the door. My hand rested on the handle. I paused for a second. My heart was beating slightly faster, for no reason at all. I opened the door. No one was there. The empty street of Austin, Texas, lay completely deserted under the yellow glow of the streetlight. I looked left, then right. Nothing. Then my eyes dropped down. There was a folded note on the doorstep. I froze. For a few seconds, I didn't even touch it. I just stared at it, as if something inside me was saying, "Don't pick it up." Still, I picked it up. The paper was dry, clean, as if it had just been placed there, which meant whoever left it was just here, just not visible. I opened it. 2 lines were written. Check the footage. Don't stay here. My fingers tightened on their own. There was something in that line, something that didn't hit my mind, but landed somewhere deeper inside. Don't stay here. Why? From what? My name is Daniel Carter. I'm 41 years old, and until that night, I believe I knew everything about my life, about my wife too, but I was wrong. I immediately looked outside again, this time more carefully, but still no one, as if whoever left that note never wanted to be seen. I slowly closed the door, and in that moment, for the first time, I felt like I might not be safe here. I didn't go straight to the bedroom. I didn't call out to my wife either. Something was stopping me. Like talking to her right now wouldn't be the right move. I walked into the living room. The note was still in my hand. Check the footage. That one word changed everything. There were cameras installed in our house. Front door, hallway, backyard, everywhere. I had them installed myself, just for safety. Honestly, I had never taken them seriously. Until now, I picked up my phone, opened the camera app. My thumb hovered over the screen for a few seconds. There was a strange hesitation inside me, because I felt like whatever I was about to see, I wasn't going to like it. Still, I rewound the footage. 10 minutes earlier, I remembered I was sitting on the couch at that time. Everything was normal, but on the screen, nothing was normal. The front door was visible, closed, still. Then it moved, slowly. My breath stopped, because I clearly remembered I had locked the door. I leaned in closer. The door was opening on its own. No force, no push, just opening. And then someone walked in. The face wasn't clear, just a figure wearing gloves. The movement was strangely calm. No hurry, no hesitation. He walked in and moved straight ahead, as if he knew exactly where he was going. My hands tightened on their own. This wasn't random. Not at all. I immediately opened the second camera. Now the hallway was visible. The same man. Clearer now. He was walking straight toward the bedroom, toward my wife's room. And in that moment, something flashed in my mind. A little while ago, she had said to me, "Can you give me some space? I just want to rest alone." At that time, it felt normal. But now, nothing felt normal. I kept my eyes fixed on the screen. The man reached the bedroom door, paused for a second, and then he opened it. My finger was on the screen, but I didn't move forward, because whatever was inside, after seeing it, I might not be the same person anymore. And at that moment, I had no idea. This was just a beginning. I moved forward. My finger was still on the screen. My heart had steadied, but something inside me had changed. Earlier, I wanted to understand what happened. Now I wanted to understand why it happened. I played the footage again. This time, I wasn't just watching. I was observing. That man, his walk, his timing, his confidence. Everything was extremely precise. No hesitation, no mistakes. As if he had been here before. I paused the video, zoomed in, focused on his hands. Gloves, but from the grip, it was clear he was used to handling something. No nervous movement, controlled pressure. I played it again. That moment came again, when he reached into his jacket. I paused again. watched it in slow motion. The movement of his hand exact, as if he knew what to take out and exactly where it was. This wasn't random. I changed the angle, watched the hallway camera again. He walked straight to the bedroom. Didn't look left, didn't look right, as if he already knew which room was where. Something clicked in my mind. If he were an outsider, he would hesitate. But this man didn't hesitate, which means either he had been here before, or someone had told him. I lowered the phone slightly, closed my eyes for a second, and then a memory surfaced. A few weeks ago, my wife had casually said, "Do our cameras work properly?" At that time, it felt like a normal question. I just said yes. But now, that question didn't feel normal anymore. I opened the footage again. This time, the bedroom moment. I watched it again. He gives her something, she takes it, and collapses. But this time, I focus on that small object. I zoomed in. The image was slightly blurred, but the shape was clear, something like a small vial or a capsule, something medical. My breathing grew heavier because this wasn't random. This was prepared. I immediately replayed the nightstand moment. He opens a drawer, without searching, straight to that drawer, the one where medicines are kept. And then he takes out a bottle, looks at it, and puts it back. In that moment, one thought hit my mind. He was confirming something, which means he already knew what was kept there. I gripped the phone tightly. Now things were becoming clear. This wasn't a break-in. This wasn't a coincidence. This was planned. And the most dangerous part, this plan wasn't his alone. I noticed something else. When he looked toward the camera, there was no fear in his body language. No panic. No urgency. Just awareness. As if he knew this recording wouldn't be used against him. In that moment, a cold realization settled inside me. If he's this calm, then it means either he doesn't fear consequences, or there won't be any consequences at all. I lowered the phone, looked around the room. Everything was the same. Same furniture, same silence, but the feeling had changed. This house didn't feel safe anymore. I looked toward the bedroom again. The door was closed. She was inside, the woman I had known for 16 years. Or maybe I had never really known her at all. I took out the note again. Don't stay here. Now it felt different. Before it was confusing. Now it was clear. It wasn't meant to scare me. It was meant to save me. But the question still remained. What was I being saved from? That man? Or her? I took a deep breath. And in that moment, I made a decision. I won't go inside right now. I won't ask questions. I won't react. I will understand first. Because now, this situation wasn't simple anymore. This was something else. Something that wasn't visible on the surface. I picked up the phone again, rewound the footage. This time, I wasn't watching just to see. I was watching to find the truth. And even then, I had no idea that the pattern I was beginning to see would take me somewhere, from where coming back wouldn't be easy. I rewound the footage again. This time, my focus wasn't on the man. My focus was on her, my wife. I paused at the exact moment she was sitting on the bed. Her body language, her face, her posture. I hadn't noticed it before, but now it was clear. She was relaxed. No tension, no confusion, no fear. As if she already knew what was about to happen. My fingers froze on the screen, because if that was true, then it meant this wasn't happening to her. This was happening with her. I played the video again. The man stood in front of her. They looked at each other. No panic, no resistance. Then she said something. I tried to read her lips, but it wasn't clear. Only one thing was clear. She was calm. Then he gave her something, and she took it. After just a second of hesitation. That 1 second confused me, because that hesitation wasn't fear. It was a decision. I paused the video again, and for the first time, an uncomfortable thought hit me. Was this her choice? I immediately pushed that thought away. No, that's not possible. 16 years. I had been with her for 16 years. I knew her. Or maybe I thought I did. I took a deep breath, and then I noticed something else. when she took the object, there was no struggle in her hand, no shaking, no hesitation, steady, as if she had held something like that before. Something inside me cracked a little more. I moved the video forward. She collapsed, but even that collapse felt strange. It was sudden, but just before it, her body relaxed slightly. As if she let go, I immediately rewound. Watched it again. Again. Same. Every time. The same. That reaction wasn't natural. It was prepared. I lowered the phone. Now I wasn't just confused. I was disturbed. Because now the question wasn't, what did she take? The question was, why did she take it? I quickly checked something else. The timeline. I looked at the timestamps. And then my eyes stopped there because something didn't match. I had called 911 after she collapsed, but in the footage, the man stayed there for a while, even after she fell, which meant when I was making that emergency call, he was still inside the house. A cold wave ran through my body. That meant he knew I would call, and still he stayed. Why? I played that moment again. He checked her pulse, checked her neck, opened the drawer, checked the medicine. Everything methodical, as if he was making sure that the outcome stayed exactly as planned. Now this wasn't doubt. This was confirmation. I gripped the phone tightly, and in that moment, another memory flashed. A few months ago, my wife had mentioned a clinic, just a routine checkup. That's what she said. I didn't think much of it at the time, but now I remembered one detail. That clinic was private, appointment-based, and she had insisted that I shouldn't go with her. Back then, it felt normal. Now, nothing felt normal. I played the footage again. There was something on the man's sleeve, a small logo, blurred, but familiar. I zoomed in. It became slightly clearer. And in that moment, something inside me froze, because I had seen that logo before. Where? I couldn't recall exactly, but I recognized it. And if I recognized it, that meant it was connected to my life. I lowered the phone. Now the picture was becoming clear. This wasn't random. This wasn't forced. This wasn't an accident. This was arranged. And the most dangerous part, it was arranged without me. I looked at the bedroom door again. It was closed. She was inside, the person I considered closest to me. And for the first time, I felt like I knew nothing about her. And maybe she never wanted me to know. I took a slow breath. And in that moment, I accepted something. I was not at the center of this story. I was outside it. And whatever was happening inside was happening without me. And even then, I didn't know this wasn't just the beginning. This was a setup. And I was just starting to understand it. I picked up the phone again. Now, it wasn't about watching anymore. It was about connecting. Everything that once seemed random was forming a pattern. I played the footage again, not from the beginning, but from the details. The man's movement, his timing, his confidence, and then my wife's behavior. Everything pointed in one direction. This wasn't spontaneous. This was rehearsed. I paused and asked myself one direct question. If this was a plan, when did it start? I started thinking back. Small things that once felt irrelevant now began to surface. Her suddenly keeping her phone on silent, late night calls she took in another room, and the strangest part, her repeated visits to that same clinic. I thought about that clinic again. She had said, just a routine checkup. But why would someone want so much privacy? For something routine? And the biggest question, why did she never let me go with her? I immediately picked up my phone, opened the browser, searched for the clinic's name. Some basic information came up, but very limited. No proper reviews, no clear services, just vague descriptions. Private care, confidential treatment, specialized management. Management, that word felt strange. I immediately went back to the footage. The logo on the man's sleeve. I zoomed in again. Now it was clearer. And this time, I remembered the same logo was on that clinic's website. My hands went cold. Now everything was connecting. That man wasn't random. He was connected to that clinic, which meant this wasn't a medical emergency. This was a medical procedure. And the most dangerous part, this procedure didn't happen to her. She chose it. I slowly lowered the phone. Now the question wasn't who did this. Now the question was, why did she do this? I checked the timeline again. Her visits, in the last 3 months, at least 5 appointments. And every time, she had hidden something from me. Now it was clear this wasn't a sudden decision. This was preparation. I closed my eyes. 16 years. In 16 years, I had never imagined that I could be so wrong about her. But now the evidence was in front of me, and evidence is stronger than emotions. I took a deep breath and calmed myself. Panic was useless now. So was reaction. If all of this was planned, then the next step must also be planned. And if I make one wrong move now, I become part of that plan. I put the phone back in my pocket, looked around the living room. Everything was the same, but I wasn't. I made a decision. I won't go inside right now. I won't ask her questions. I will pretend that I know nothing, because if she could go this far, then this isn't just a secret. This is a system, and going against a system without understanding it is dangerous. I slowly walked toward the bedroom, stopped outside the door. Inside, silence. A faint sound of machines, the steady rhythm. Everything felt normal, but now I knew it wasn't. I didn't open the door. I just stood there for a few seconds, then turned back and walked out of the house, not for fresh air, but to create distance. Because this wasn't just a situation anymore. This was a setup, and I was standing in the middle of it without understanding it. I sat in the car, locked the doors, then took out my phone. I looked at that still image again. The logo was clear. I zoomed in, and in that moment, I decided I would talk to someone who could understand this. Not a normal friend, not a family member, someone who understands systems. I dialed a number, an old contact, hadn't spoken in a long time. The call connected. I didn't explain anything. I just sent the image. A few seconds of silence. Then his voice came. Where did you get this? I said, just tell me, what is it? A brief pause. Then he said slowly, this is not a clinic. I stayed silent. He continued, they don't solve problems. My grip on the phone tightened. Then what do they do? A few seconds of silence. Then they manage situations. My breathing slowed because now everything was making sense. And at the same time, nothing made sense at all. And I still had no idea that the decision I was about to make was going to change my entire life. I ended the call. For a few seconds, I just sat in the car, engine off, silence outside and inside, only the sound of my breathing. They managed situations. His voice was still echoing in my head. For the first time, I replayed the entire sequence without emotion. The note, the footage, that man, the clinic, and my wife. Everything was connecting in a straight line. And in that line, I wasn't anywhere. I looked at myself in the rearview mirror. A tired face, confused eyes. But one thing was clear. I couldn't react anymore. If all of this was planned, then my reaction was probably already calculated too. I took a deep breath. And in that moment, I made a decision. I'm not going back into that room. Not now. I started the car. But I didn't drive. I just sat there and thought, if she wakes up, will she look for me? Or, just like before, will she keep me outside again? I got my answer sooner than I expected. The next morning, I got a call from the hospital. She's awake. The voice was calm, professional, as if nothing had even happened. I stayed silent for a few seconds. Then I asked just one question. Did she ask for me? There was a brief pause on the other side. Then the answer came. No, just one word. But that one word made everything clear. I ended the call. No second question. No clarification. Because now I understood. This wasn't confusion. This was a choice. I didn't go to the hospital that day. And after that, I never went. I didn't call her. Didn't message her. Nothing. Because the connection I thought existed was already broken. I just realized it too late. A few days later, I pulled out all the records. insurance, appointments, transactions, everything. And the pattern that appeared was no longer shocking. It was expected. Multiple visits, same clinic, different dates, and every time, hidden from me. Then I saw the last entry, the same date, the day all of this happened. And in the description, just one line, procedure completed. I stared at the screen for a few seconds, because now there was no doubt left. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't an attack. This was an emergency. This was an outcome, exactly as it had been planned. I put the phone down, and for the first time, I didn't feel anger. No sadness, no frustration, just clarity. Because when the truth becomes this clear, emotions fade on their own. I understood one thing. Some people don't hurt you, they just don't include you. And that's even more dangerous, because you never realize when you were left out. I stopped going back to that house, left some things behind, left some answers behind too. Because not every answer needs to be known. Some things are better left at a distance. And that day, I made a rule: trust, but not blindly. Observe, but quietly. And if a situation ever makes you feel that something is off, don't ignore it. Because sometimes the warning doesn't come late. We just understand it too late. I started the engine. This time, I actually drove. I didn't look back. Because some stories don't end. You just stop being a part of them. And that day, that's exactly what I did. If you've made it this far, then I want to ask you one thing. If this happened to you, would you go back? Or would you walk away, just like I did, without answers? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy real mind-opening stories like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Because some stories aren't meant just to be heard. They are meant to be understood.